as promised, here is more of my interview with Dan Sindel.
When you were writing the songs for your forthcoming new release, as you were laying them down, did you have the musical ideas first or the lyrical ideas first?
A little of both, to be honest with you. You know how it goes. You talk to people who write songs, and they have all kinds of different methods of doing it. Sometimes it's lyrics just written on a napkin from a bar, or you got a melody in your head that you try and capture and write down on your guitar and try and fit the two together. Yeah, they all sort of come together in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I'm just goofing around on the computer with maybe a drum loop and some different bass synthesizer sounds. And sometimes it's born just out of that. Like I hear a couple bars that seem interesting that I can continue to work on and develop. And yeah, from there maybe I have to think about some words, or yeah, I got books and books full of words / poetry or rambling insane thoughts in the middle of the night that I just have. Sometimes I reach back in there and like, wow, I said that 12 years ago? Oh, that's still relevant. Okay. So yeah, you know how it is. You just sort of pull from all different directions and try and make it work.
Now, I saw too on the website you gave engineer Steve Sykes some pretty good props for engineering Stepping Stone. Is he going to be your engineer for the rest of the songs on the new release?
No, unfortunately not. Steve got really, really super busy once again with his major label companies that keeps him busy. His bread and butter is in the smooth jazz arena. He has tons and tons of gold and platinum albums working with people like Steve Lukather and Stanley Clarke, if you know who he is, the bass player.
Oh, yes.
You know, he works with a lot of high-level smooth jazz types of artists. And he's a friend of mine. I've known him a long time, and I've been lucky to have him help me when he has downtime and he's not slammed with all these other big commitments. Steve actually he mixed a pair of songs on the marching in sessions as well. So he helped me as far back as 2007, 2008. And yeah, Steve did the mixing for Stepping Stone, and he mixed Edge of Eternity. But since he was just too busy, I had to look around and find some other people to help me. And my good buddy who actually recorded the drums and the vocals in his studio for a lot of my songs did the mixing for my newest song, Rule of the World. And interesting enough, I just remembered, Rule of the World has Rick Schlosser, the drummer who played on Marching In for me, because he's a good friend of John's. They used to tour all over the United States with Edgar Winter and Juice Newton, wherever Rick Schlosser was hired as a drummer. John would also be the touring sound man. So, you know, these guys are pretty happening with music. But Rick moved to Mexico. I got a hold of Rick through Facebook and asked if there's a way for him to record drums on a couple of my songs. And he said, yeah, I have a friend who actually has a studio in this little city that I'm living in. So through the miracle of the internet, I was able to ship him all of the files to Rule the World, and he laid down the drums for me. And then we came back here. It's pretty amazing what you can do today, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of bands that I play that are AOR melodic rock bands where they're all about file sharing. There could be a singer in America, the other guys in the band are in Europe or South America or other parts of the world, and they're just able to upload the tracks, mix them, and have it all sound cohesive.
So awesome. It really is cool.
And a musical confession is you were talking about Steve Sykes and smooth jazz. I'm not a diehard fan of smooth jazz, but I do like listening to it first thing in the morning. Sometimes I'm going out for a walk or a bike ride or before bed. So I don't have a gigantic collection, but if I'm at a thrift shop or a yard sale and I see something cool for $1, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, there you go. It's good to let all types of music into your life. Maybe not for a steady diet, but
yeah.
I listen to almost every genre there is. I try not to limit myself. Some I could withstand only a little bit, and some I could listen to all night long. But, whatever. To each his own, right?
Now, as you've been learning Pro Tools for the past, it sounds like almost 20 years or so, do you get into the engineering part of it? Like, will you go in as you're doing stuff and do either subtractive EQ, additive EQ, the chorus, the reverb, and all that? Or do you mainly leave that to the other engineers that you work with?
Well, I have not had the extreme confidence to do it myself. Mm-hmm. Thinking I really wanted to put forth a real product that's competitive out there. You really don't, what's that old saying? You only have one shot to get someone's first impression.
Yep.
So I figured if I'm really serious about this, then maybe I really should be thinking about getting guys with a track record and all of the all the successes they had in the music realm. So, sure. But, the way it's looking now, my budget's gotten pretty thin, so hiring anybody at the moment seems to be a challenge. So I am personally investing more time with some online tutorials, and I'm learning more and more about the art of compression and side chaining, different effects and the EQs and what have you, and I'm just going to see what I can do about getting the next few mixes out myself as the producer. Hey everybody, this is Dan Sindel, and you're listening to Bob's Metal Show on WRKC 88.5, Wilkes Barre.
No Frustration, the plan to rule the world.